Hey man, it's the CEO, and it's New Year's Day. We're out with the kids. Take a picture of the kids. We're out here doing a little bit of small game hunting. It's snowing out in New York, and one of the things that we wanted to kind of get out and try to get out on film is that going and looking for signs for deer while you're small game hunting is always a good practice, especially during the snow, because the snow is going to reveal a lot of what happens, a lot of the activity in the places that you go. So we got the chairman with us, and he's going to go over a couple of rubs that we saw. He's going to go over some tracks that we saw. It really shows you where the deer are patterning when there's no pressure on them at all. And this becomes really important to you when you start picking out what you're doing for the next season. So, hunting is really a 24/7 kind of thing. And when you're out in the woods, always be aware of what you're seeing and what's going on, and make these mental notes, because they're going to make you a lot more successful in the field. Like I said, obviously, we're out small game hunting, looking for rabbits and squirrels, taking the kids out, enjoying New Year's Day outdoors. It's a good time to always make good use of that time and collect all that data and save it. So we're going to turn it over to the chairman in just a second.
Really look for when we pattern deer, crossing points, and where they're basically living. If you look at this fence, there's hair stuck in this fence line. This is a barbed wire fence, so it's going to grab anything that goes underneath it or over it. These deer have been crossing here, and it had to have been before it really came down with snow, because we don't have any track or any sign over here. But back here on the back side, there's a ton of tracks. On our way in, we jumped a buck. He was bedded down over here in the small area of the pines. And this goes back to our pre-season scouting. I mean, the season's over now, but we're still out here looking for deer, and getting an idea of what's coming up for next year. The deer that were bedded down here, they got up this morning early, and they're gone. There's snow in the beds. There's another one up there. The two down here low, you can see where they've been doing a little foraging for food. Down there is where the buck that we jumped up coming in, he was bedded down. We were probably 25, 30 yards from him when he jumped up and took off. You want to really be aware of what's out here all the time. You can see where he had bedded down, and right next to the spot where he was sleeping, he's already been foraging for food. It's a tough time of year for him. The deer are still active at this time of year. This rub is, it's pre-snow. There's no kerf marks or anything around the bottom of it, but we found this one, and all the way up our path coming in is what we call a rub line. You want to really be aware of these when you're doing your pre-season scouting, because that's basically a path where a nice buck is starting to travel. The reason why the bucks are doing this is they're marking their territory. You'll find these, and you'll find scrapes on the ground. Right now it's a tough time to find a scrape. They're out of the rut. When they come through and they mark a tree like this, number one, they're sharpening their horns, and number two, they're marking their territory. A dominant buck will come in, and he'll scrape a bunch of trees, and he'll make some rubs, or rubs and scrapes, and when he does that, he's telling the doe that he's there, and he's also telling the smaller bucks that he's there for a challenge. And they establish a pecking order of sorts on dominance. The bigger bucks will breed more doe than a non-dominant buck. So this is one thing that you definitely want to be looking for in the woods. And the best thing to do is, if you find one, keep searching and find that rub line and hunt that rub line as much as you can.
It's all about the breeding.
They're looking for another doe. We're talking about rub lines, and this one is fairly fresh. And if you look at the area, we have a line of track coming in and out of here pretty much everywhere. This is a big intersection for all the deer. When they come into the woods, they kind of congregate in this area, and it's kind of a crossroads area. If we go down here, you have this rub, you head this way. You've got another one. This is a pretty nice buck. You know, he's pretty tall. And if you look directly behind this rub, back there, there's another one. And what you want to do is you want to kind of find this area where they're traveling through, and this is the ultimate in a really good place to hunt.
Good tree for a stand right there.
You know, yeah, and you
Real good
definitely
tree.
wanna be
Nice
looking,
and straight. No branches.
you know, spots to put a tree stand. If you're afraid of heights, maybe a blind. You know, areas that you can get some cover. What we're looking for when we put up a tree stand, we found our rub line, so we know this is going to be a really active place to hunt. You know, a tree like this, it's nice and straight, it's pretty solid, got a pretty even upper side on the base. You know, that's a great place to get up there about 15 to 16 feet, and you can actually see the plateau over here. You know, you're pretty much eye level with a good shot up top. But what you want to do is you want to come out here and you want to check this 2 or 3 days a week just to make sure that you have the activity that you're looking for.
Cover they got on the back hill is good too.
You know,
A lot of good cover. Good shooting lanes too with a gun.
yeah, definitely. This is definitely a good place to go. This is a great time of year to scout. You know, it's post-season. Can't shoot a deer now, but it's a great time to get out here and get a look and see what's out there for next year. You know, you can come out, you can look at track. It's easier to track a deer now. Look for sign, look for where they're eating. You know, things like that. This is the time of year that you want to start scouting for your next year's season. We'll see you at Learn to Hunt New York.